So my plan was to wait till I saw what the current of the river was like to decide if I was going to try to paddle up a bunch of it or if I was just going to road portage it. And I'm only like a mile in, and already this is the current. It's very strong, sweating just from trying to fight it, and there's no reason to think it's going to let up anytime soon. Plus it gets so shallow you can't get a full stroke in anyway, so here I am, back to my wading tracking stuff. Alright, making progress. For the first time this entire trip, I put my real waders on and my wading boots. Lots of current. Tracking is new to me. I've never bothered going through all this hassle before, but obviously it's necessary here. So, some things I found out real quick. Trying to track in deep water is awful because all the current is pushing your legs back. So you're like sloshing through and splashing. It sucks. So what I found is avoiding wave trains and stuff like that and sticking to the really shallow stuff like this. Like that riffle there will be great. My load's pretty light in the boat and the boat's light itself. So I can kind of walk on the cobbles just in the water, and the boat doesn't need much water to float. So let's do a little bit just to show you. So right here, it's really not bad at all. But then the current builds up, and it's really pushing my feet back. No doubt in my mind, portaging on the road. I can totally see why so many people shuttle around these next two rivers in New Hampshire. I've only been in this one for an hour. Alright, I'm gonna try to paddle for a bit. Okay, well that was exhausting. I didn't very much care for that. Gave it a whirl. I've had enough. I found this dirt road that's not posted, and I looked at the map and whatnot, and it looks like it's actually just the outskirts of like a town treatment plant that goes on a dirt road right along the river over to where I was planning on taking it anyway. So, wheels on. Time to get out of the water. And out of these waders, they're really hot and sweaty. So here's the first of the actual 3 portaging dams of the Mooselookmeguntic. And this is the river. Where I portaged from is actually just around that bend, so I guess I was a little closer than I thought, but still wouldn't have been fun to walk up all this. This isn't marked, but this has to be the portage trail. So now I'm back officially en route. I only cut one little baby corner with portaging. So I made it to the post office, and I can see my package hidden behind me behind the hay. So thank you so much, Christy. That's a huge help. She let me know that she would hide it behind the hay bale. And we've got it. It saved me a lot of trouble. Excellent. Leaving Groveton. Cool antique train on here. Those are the kinds of trains I like, the ones that don't make loud noises in the middle of the night. And then I get to actually depart over this beautiful covered bridge. Groveton had everything that you could really want. It had a coin laundry. If I wasn't trying to get further today, I could totally have done laundry here. But yeah, restaurants, the full-size grocery store, post office, obviously, all that kind of stuff. So short little stay in town, but resupplied on food. Got some fresh pizza at the grocery store, so that was nice. And now it's time to start portaging around the Mooselookmeguntic. Alright, so here I'm at the Stark Bed and Breakfast. Had a wonderful stay. It's my second time staying here. Nancy's always a very great host. Delicious breakfast of eggs and ham and sausage, fresh fruit, fresh squeezed orange juice, real coffee, and English muffin. So I'm well fed. Definitely the best food I've had so far this trip. think it's church time. She just walked over to church. This is a great spot. I'm thinking about doing the Cohosh Trail again sometime soon, possibly even this summer or fall, so I'll probably be back because this is such a great little spot to stop and stay. So today's going to be probably the only day of my trip that is no water. It's going to be extremely far on the road. My hope, might not happen, is to get all the way up to Errol, which is nearly 28 miles on the road. There's a campground a little bit before that I can probably bail out if I just don't have the time or the juice. And so it's early enough. I'm feeling good. We'll see how it goes. I'm probably just going to listen to a lot of audiobook on my phone while I walk. So it'll be a unique day for canoe travel. I'll do a quick pan around because it's such a beautiful spot here. So this is the inn's backyard. And there's this big, huge, beautiful cliff over there of shale, which isn't climbable, unfortunately, but nice big back porch where I left all my stuff out. It's beautiful. It's right on the river. If you're ever paddling this, you've got to stay here. It's well worth it. So I made it to Route 16. This is the long highway that leads up to Errol. So this is a new river that I have not stepped foot in. So this is the Androscoggin. And you can see that there's a lot of water moving. And down there too, it looks like there's an NFCT marker for, I guess, people that had to portage up that are trying to get back in. Based on the map, there's like 14 miles of class 1 and class 2 this entire stretch before it starts to simmer out a little bit up further north, about 6 miles south of Errol. So I'm planning on taking advantage of this nice smooth road and just kind of trucking my way along. I hope I didn't just miss it. Shoot, darn it. So I didn't get my video out in time. Right up before that sign, a female moose just walked from that side of the road off to that side of the road. So the moose counter is officially 1. If I get up there and I see her, of course, I'll get the camera back out. Okay, good morning from Errol. So today will be my last day in New Hampshire. You might notice that I've got this styling new hat that I picked up at LL Coats, which is a huge outfitter in town. It's kind of like a Cabela's or Dick's Sporting Goods, but really nice outdoorsy stuff. So it's huge, 2 floors. They've got everything from fishing, hunting, clothing. It's got an attached convenience like grocery store. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. So I went there and bought this hat because my ears are taking a beating, even with putting really strong 50 SPF sunscreen on them every day, multiple times. So this should help. And also with the bugs likely coming out soon, this will help keep them off my neck with my bug net too. So far it's really the only piece of equipment that I wish I started off with that I haven't. So otherwise, so far so good. It's a little late in the day to get started. I did walk into town, mail some stuff home, all the maps and things I've completed, and some leftover food that I didn't want to waste or throw out. So next step is basically a short portage to get to the mouth of the Androscoggin, and then follow that to the east to get to Lake Umbagog. And then after that, I've got a big, long, hard portage and working my way up. I've got a reservation on Mooselookmeguntic Lake for some of the southern sites on that lake. Tomorrow's supposed to be pretty windy, so I wanted to get pretty far today to try to get an early morning start to get off the big lake before the wind picks up, probably in the afternoon. So that's the goal. Let's hope that we can do it. I had a great stay here last night, the beautiful river behind me. These guys here at I believe it's the Northwood Outdoors, are fantastic. They let me stay here for free since I'm paddling the trail, so huge thank you to them. If you're ever in the area and you need any kind of whitewater instruction or shuttles or campground, definitely hit these guys up. They're fantastic. But with that said, it's time for me to get moving because daylight is ticking. All right, time to get in the boat for the first time in over 24 hours. So it's a very short paddle up to that dam, and there should be a signed portage trail on my current right river left before that just goes up and around it. So that's the first one of the day. Here's the portage trail, nice and easy to find. You basically just paddle right up to the buoys there, and you have these big, huge concrete steps and a signed portage over here. And we go that way on the wheels. Here we are, top of the dam. The instructions for the portage are very good. They tell you to not put right back in at a nice grassy spot that looks like a perfect put in, to walk a little bit further because you do have the second boon that's up across that you'd have to deal with. So that looks pretty darn flat. This is all the backwater of the dam, so the current here should be pretty negligible. And in not too far, I'll come back out on the first big lake that I've been on in a long time, really. So awesome, beautiful day. Nice new hat protecting my ears. Life's good. So this is Lake Umbagog. Beautiful. Exactly kind of what I was hoping to get to once I got this far up the trail. So it's surrounded on almost every side by just woods and mountains. You can see there's one boat over there. There was one boat at the boat launch. So maybe that's that. Maybe they're hanging out and fishing or something. But most of this lake is surrounded by either wildlife refuge or state land. And it's just gorgeous. Really feels pretty remote and beautiful. That's the way that I came in. That's the actual real mouth of the Androscoggin that goes down to that dam. And I'm still in New Hampshire. However, this point, right about here, is in Maine. So that whole shore that you're looking at over there is Maine, the final state of the Northern Forest Canoe Trail. And about halfway across this body of water is the actual state border. So once I hit that point, I'm in Maine, baby. Welcome to Maine. Here we are at the bottom of the Carey Ridge portage. So the river is still flowing against us and it's rapidy, so it's time to go around. When I was asking around for the most challenging portages before I left, this one was mentioned a few times. So here we are, and no matter how it goes, later today we'll be through it, right? So I've got as much as I possibly can out of the boat. So I just have the paddles. Basically, that's about it in there, and everything else I can is on my dry bag here. So the strategy is that the guidebook says the beginning part, the first quarter mile, is the least wheelable. So I'm still going to try to wheel it because my boat's so light, and then every time I have to pick it up over my head, I can more easily because there's less stuff in it. I'm about maybe a third of a mile into the portage. The very beginning part is absolutely not wheelable. I didn't even try, so I just threw everything up on my shoulders. Once you get to the road, so far so good. Really old car there, I just wanted to show, but this is what you've got so far, which is very manageable if you just have the boat on the wheels and not all your stuff in it. I made it to the end of the portage. That was a rough one. About 4.5 miles, really bumpy, rough road. Definitely not super easy to wheel. I kept my big dry bag on the back the whole time. Tough, but here I am. I made it. So this is the lower Richardson Lake. Definitely windier than Umbagog was. I'm just going to follow the western shore the whole time, and it probably won't be as windy as it is right here. There's definitely some moisture moving through. There's definitely raining over there. And it started off with a few drops here, but now I can see my shadow. So let's hope for the best. So already the waves have lessened. I think I got here just as the sort of the rain front was moving through, because already it's much calmer. And I'm not that far from where I was a second ago. I was just over by that White House. So that's Middle Dam. You can see that it's raining pretty hard over there. And then you can also see some rain over there and some rain over there. And then possibly some there too. But this is beautiful. So mountains and pristine shores and barely any buildings. Now the water's starting to simmer down a bit. Maine is being good to me so far. So there's some beautiful looking sites here. This is a site, I believe this one's called the Narrows, because it's where it narrows. Basically, I'm right here. And then there should be another one across the way to the west. So a whole bunch in this little Narrows part. My current path is going up here, one little portage over the upper dam here, and then my site is up here. Oh, it's beautiful up here, really nice. Up until today, I'd only seen, I believe, 5 total other paddlers out paddling around total, the entire trip. And 3 of them were in the same day. It was 2 folks together in pack canoes paddling. And then also I saw later that same day, this is all in the Saranac Lake region, somebody in an ocean kayak paddling by too. And then I didn't see another one for a while until the 4th person was actually when I was paddling up the Clyde the last day, getting up to Island Pond. There was a couple going downstream in it. And then just today, earlier, I saw a 5th, which was over in Umbagog. There was some folks camping on a site over there. So that overturned canoe over there would be 6 if I actually saw people by it. I'm sure they're there somewhere. Upper Richardson Lake, treating me very kindly. Beautiful, calm mountains. So that way into the Narrows back there. I just heard a loon singing. This is a tough one to beat. This is the east side of Upper Richardson Lake, and there's actually some quick water I had to really gun it to get through. So this little channel is pretty hard to see from a distance. There's like a really rocky shore like this for a little bit of a ways with some like what looks like rental cottages or something. But was a wonderful crossing. I could totally see that being a gnarly lake when the wind's coming out of the northwest like it usually is, because it has from that tall mountain over there all the way down lake to pick up and give you big waves. And at one point you've got to go from that western shore over here. So that pile of rocks over there to me looks a lot like an upper dam. I have no idea if this is how it normally is. To me it looks very low, but it's actually really hard to get up because there's quick water. So I tried paddling up through that, and I was making good progress until I really hit my dual blade paddle pretty hard, and I just stopped immediately. I said, nope, I'm not going to break a paddle trying to be playful / a hero and make up this one little flow of water. So I'm portaging top here, gonna cross up there, and then ferry over and exit left on that pier thing. Ramble campsite, I found it. So this is the campsite that they moved me to. I got a voicemail and a text message from the woman that I reserved the site with saying that the site wasn't cleaned and the privy wasn't unlocked, so she asked me to go to this one instead. So this is Lake Mooselookmeguntic. It's huge. It's a really big lake. So when I got out into it, which I came in from, you can see that little tall clump of trees on that point over there. The upper dam comes in from there, and it's pretty choppy. It's not horrendous. I wasn't scared paddling in it, but I was conscious. I kind of kept on looking into the waves to make sure there wasn't a particularly big white cap coming. You can see there's really not any white caps out there, but yeah, lakes of this size are no joke. You've got to respect them. And so this is a really cool view. So what it shows is it's pretty over there to the northeast. There's a rainbow there, and then you can actually see this rainstorm rolling in across in the direction of the wind, because there's so much open space from the water rather, the big lake. So when I first got here, it sprinkled for like 2 seconds. So I like hurried up and threw up a tarp and all that. You can see there's sun on the other side. So it's going to be a very short shower, most likely. But that rainbow is gorgeous. But it was really neat because I could see there was a line of wind. You could see the wind squall. So there was like a very disrupted water surface, and you could see it coming at the same speed as the wind in this general direction. And it was really kind of neat. And then after that, the wind started picking up, my tarp started shaking a bit, and then you could start hearing the drops come. So it's sprinkling on me now. I don't think it's gonna rain very hard, but pretty beautiful. And it's really neat to be someplace that's open enough that you can actually see weather happening. You can see to the right of the rainbow, that's to the southeast, all those little streaks of the clouds, so it's showering over there as well. So this is it's beautiful. The rain is picking up a bit, so I'm gonna go start my dinner under the tarp.